Hey guys, welcome back to Phil Plays TCG. I'm your host, the Phil That Plays, and today we are talking about Dragon Ball Fusion Worlds. And the obvious picks for the best colors, or even the best decks, in the first meta. Of course, Dragon Ball Fusion World is coming out in about a month. The pre-release weekend is about the 16th, 17th for us here, and then the official set releases the 23rd, 24th. And I'm super excited. I've been playing a lot of this game lately, and I'm just very hyped to get back into this with my friends who played Masters here. We're all getting back together to play Fusion World, and so we're very excited about that. First and foremost, I do want to say I started Discord. You can look up Discord. I will try to put the link in the description down below. The Phil Plays TCG Discord. I would love to have you guys there. Try to build a community. This is all new to me, trying a lot of new things. So bear with me while I learn the ropes of it, but I would really appreciate that. Also, we are on our way to 700 subscribers, so if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you like Dragon Ball, One Piece, and a little bit of Pokemon sprinkled in there, and some other card games in general. I would really appreciate the love and support there. We are on a great momentum with Fusion World content, and it feels like the channel is growing because of that. That and One Piece lately. So thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. And like I said, if you haven't already, join the Phil Plays TCG family. Really do appreciate that. But anyway, a couple days ago, actually, oh wow, this was actually a day ago. I submitted a question on my community page, and it was, which color of Fusion World do you think will be the best for the first meta? Of course, looks like we have red at 27%, blue at 14%, green at 35%, taking up the win there, and then yellow at 24%. If you can see here, blue is at the end of it. This was 131 votes, so I know it's not a huge number compared to my channel growth right now, and just, obviously the community as a whole, but I wanted to get an idea, and this was the biggest voter turnout of any poll I've done, so really do appreciate that. But as it stands, at least the ones that do voted on my poll here believe that green is overwhelmingly the best color in set 1, with blue is second place, yellow close, but popping in at third, and of course blue at the coming up the rear there, fourth place. So what do I think about this? Well, I'm going to talk to you about it, because I think both red and green are the obvious picks for the best colors of set 1. To be honest though, I am leaning more towards green as the overall best color, but blue is very close in second place with just because the reason why these two colors are obvious tops is because they have the most generically good support cards. They do, I feel like, more than the other colors do. And on top of that, both these colors did get a secret rare, which I felt, to be honest with you, was completely unnecessary. These colors already had some of the best cards in the first set. Giving them the secret rare was just kind of icing on the cake, and really is an unfair advantage in comparison to the other two colors. Green and red are so good that it doesn't make sense to play blue or yellow. The support, and the cards that they got just don't compare to the cards that these colors did receive, and we'll go over that here. So first thing we're going to talk about is red. So red, let me make sure I didn't skip a thing there. No, I did not. Perfect. So red, you have access to 3 leaders. Blue, we have 2 Gokus, one Super Saiyan Blue Goku, one Super Saiyan Goku, and then a Beerus. I have already gone ahead and ranked them as the best leaders, which I think are the best of the 3. Super Saiyan Blue Goku is the obvious best leader because of his blanket permanent. During your turn, all of your Universe 7 cards, all of your cards with Universe 7 in their special traits gain additional 5k power. That additional 5k power is huge. A lot of your lower to the ground cards are now viable threats. Your bigger cards now are much more deadly to deal with. It's basically Zoro from One Piece, from the One Piece card game. It just gives a blanket buff to all of your characters, essentially, because you're not going to be running a lot of red cards in the deck that are not Universe 7. So it effectively hits everything. Beerus, close second. Its front side ability, being able to be a 20k crit, is great. The backside ability, being able to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 10k power for the turn, that's pretty neat. The reason why it is higher than the Super Saiyan Goku is because of that frontside crit. This Goku, the Starter Deck Goku, is just, in comparison to the other two, not as good. Sure, once per turn during battle, you can give one of your battle cards additional 5k bump. It's not the greatest. If it was just in the Starter Deck meta, it's okay, but in the grand scheme of things, in comparison with the other red leaders, it's just not there. Next, we'll talk about red just being overall amazing. Red is up there as one of the best colors because it can do several things. Namely, red is crit and negging of power. Now, in this game, they have confirmed that when you reduce a card's, when I say negging, reducing a card's power down, whether it be like by 5k, 10k, 25k, whatever the case may be, if they get the card, if they make the card weaker, it is now easier for you to take out. Is essentially a case of it's essentially a power board removal, but you do have to put a little bit more effort into it. Crit is also an amazing ability because it does starve your opponent of resources. Instead of that card from their life going to their hand, it goes to the trash instead. Your opponent's more likely, if they want to keep cards, they're going to have to get rid of cards in hand, but then it essentially does the same thing. You're starving your opponent of resources, and that is a huge thing. Negging is also great because once a card reaches 0 power, it is removed from the board. It is not KO'd, they did confirm that, just like Masters, but it is removed from the game. So it is essentially a state of board clearing. Because if you can neg something by 10k, by 25, by 15, and reduces it to 0 while you're playing a body, it works out. You're getting rid of a body, you're playing a body. Also, it does have access to one of the 2 secret rares in the first set. Like I said, I do not think red should have gotten secret rare, neither should green, but we are where we are. These are some of the cards that I just felt like kind of showed off and showed off the abilities. Critical with Beerus and Gohan. 25k body, 35k body. That get a boost with the Goku leader card, becoming a 40 and a 30. And then they have on play and when attacking abilities. Beerus is on play, discard 1 card from your hand, choose all of your opponent's battle cards of 25k power or less, and KO them. That is a huge board wipe. There's a lot of cards that are going to be under that 25k power, blockers, low to the ground beaters, stuff like that, and you play at 1 card for 5, sure you have to discard 1, but it's not that big of a deal when you draw a lot. You KO their entire board, and then you have a 40k body that can swing in for crit because everything has rush. It's nutty. Gohan's ability is a crit. He is crit as well. When attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 10k power for the turn. You can minus 10k to a blocker. You can minus 10k to a body that you want to get rid of. You can swing in with Gohan, choose the card you want to attack, minus it 10, and then now your opponent has to give you more resources in order to get rid of it. It's amazing. This 3-drop Gohan on play allows you to choose all of your opponent's battle cards and you get minus 10k power for the turn. Once again, board clear. A lot of blockers nowadays are around 10 to 5k bodies, so that just gets rid of blockers. There's no point in even running blockers in this game. Now, of course, Roshi, 1-cost Mafuba, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 15k power for the turn. Once again, a 1-drop, possibly removing a card on board, or taking 15k power away from one of your opponent's big boss monsters, allowing you to start swinging in bigger bodies to get rid of it. And of course, the secret rare of the deck, 4-cost, 30k power. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15k power for the turn. Huge. But the second ability is the one that is the reason this card is so good. When this card KOs an opponent's battle card, in battle, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So you automatically crit them a life, though the life does go to your hand, so I can't necessarily call it crit. But being able to basically play this card, say there's a 10-cost body or a 20k body on board. Minus it 15. Now it's a 5k. You swing 30, which with your leader ability would turn into a 35. You swing 35 into a 5k. Your opponent has to give you 2 super combos, or drop their whole hand to protect that 1 card, or they're going to lose a life and a body. It's absolutely insane. Now, I will admit, red does have kind of a trade-off in this. A lot of red cards don't have high combo power. As you can see, the Gohans here only have 5k combo power, when a lot of cards now in this game have 10k combo power. Seems to be the average. So red is attempting to be balanced in that aspect. Also, you have big cards that just straight up have 0 combo power, which I do like that aspect. But like I said, red is just nutty. It's an insanely aggressive color, and it has the ability to starve you of resources with crit, and board control and board removal with the ability to reduce power cost. And certain cards like Beerus that can just board wipe you in general, and a secret rare that crits life, or burns you for a life. Next, we have green, which, like I said, green I believe is going to be the best color in the set 1 format. And you do have a couple options here. You have green Son Gohan Childhood, aka Super Saiyan 2. You have the androids, very popular characters, and then of course Broly from the starter deck. Now, as you can see here, I've already put Broly off in his own thing. Unfortunately, while I think Broly is okay, I just haven't seen anything that really makes me feel confident to play Broly. Yes, he is an extra 5k buff on his backside, making him very difficult to deal with, or you have to swing higher into him. But the problem is, he trashes energy in order to buff himself up, and to draw one. He loses his draw ability on his backside, which is pretty big. So this leader, you won't get as many resources in hand with. Now, the other two green leaders, Gohan and androids, both of them are honestly great choices, and for different reasons. Gohan's ability, they both get draw 1 on their backside. Gohan's ability is activate battle. Once per turn, you can place one of your energy in your drop to get an additional 15k power for the battle. So it's to give you that little buff. If your opponent's swinging in for going for the kill, you can trash an energy to buff yourself up by almost the power of a super combo. Androids is more of an overall ability. Once per permanent, if I can talk, sorry. Permanent, your turn, if you have 6 or more energy, this card gets an additional 10k power. So on your turn, the androids now are 30k. Now, people think, oh, 6 or more energy, that's going to be a while. Not necessarily, because green, for some reason, has the ability to ramp on top of board control and a little bit of life manipulation. So the biggest thing is ramp. Blue used to be the ramp color of Dragon Ball, now green is. So with ramping, you could ramp with both Gohan and androids. So either way, you're getting access to a lot of great cards for like a lot earlier than you really should, and much quicker than your opponents not playing green will be able to. I'll start with Gohan here. Now, I have some cards here on screen. These are not necessarily cards that you only will play in Gohan. Some are, but some of these are generic enough to play in other decks. This one, I mentioned life manipulation for green. Green Gohan does have the ability. This green Gohan card here is a 6-cost 35k body on play at the top card of your deck to your life. So play this for 6. You just regain a life, which is pretty big. I don't really think there's any other card in this set that has an ability like that. You can play this easier with the Android 16 card, that on KO, you get to play this card from your discard, which is insane. It does have to be KO'd, so red is going to be a good counter to it, but overall, like I said, you can ramp up pretty quickly and play this card to regain a life. And if you play another one, boom, there you go. This Trunks Future card here is a 20k blocker. When KO'd, if your leader is a Son Gohan Childhood card, add the top card of your deck to your energy. Now, as you notice here, it does not say in active mode or in rest mode. They have confirmed that if a card does not specifically state rest mode, it is considered, you can ramp it in active, which is huge. Not a lot of card games will allow you to ramp energy in active mode. Usually it's always in rest mode. But no, this game does allow you, a lot of cards in green allow you to ramp active mode, which extends your turns. Then we have this Vegeta here, which is funny enough, my brother thought this card is bad, because if you look here, it says, on play, add up to 1 card with a cost of 3 or more from your drop to your energy in rest mode. It's bad because it ramps in rest mode, not active mode, which is insane, because this is something that you would see normally in Dragon Ball Masters. But once again, it's another decent-sized body that ramps one on play. And activate main once per turn, so you can just, As long as it lives, you can do this once per turn. Discard one card from hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 2 or less, and KO it. Low to the ground blockers, pretty much. And then, of course, this Goku, 5 cost 25k. When this card is played, or when a card is placed in your drop area from your energy, add the top card of your deck to your energy in rest mode. So, once again, this card, you play for 5, ramp to 6. It does come into play rest mode, which I feel like is what all these cards should do, but, you know, I'm not the game designer. So then, you have, when this is on the board, you play this Vegeta, which adds a card with a cost of 3 or more from your drop to your energy in rest mode. So you ramp one off the Vegeta. This then triggers, because a card is being played, when a card is placed in your drop from your energy. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that's a different thing. The second ability, placing cards from your energy into your drop and then being able to restore it, is pretty insane. I'll get to that another card in a second. Let's talk about some Android cards. Now, some of these cards are going to be seen more in Androids than Gohan. Primarily, Dr. Zero's Lab. It is a field card. One of the only field cards, I think, in this set. It's a 3-cost card, so earliest you can play it is turn 3. Activate main. For 1 green, so you tap a green. Switch this card to rest mode. If your leader's Android 17, add up to 1 card with Android and special traits from your drop to your energy. So you pay 1 to ramp 1 in active mode. Insane. There is... Oops, got a notification though. You have cards like the Androids. Android 17, 18 is 6-drop, 40k body. This is generically good. The other 3 are going to be more generically good. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards on play with a cost of 3 or less and KO them. So you're KOing 2 cards right off the bat, which, as a blue player, unfortunately, most of Blue's cards are 3 costs or below. So this card destroys Blue. And then on top of that, you have a 40k double strike body. Nutty. This 2-cost 20k Android 18 on play, draw 1, then discard 1. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see if I can get rid of notifications here, because that's getting a little annoying. Sorry about that. So you draw 1 and play 1. So you get to cycle your hand. You get to draw 1 first, which is great, and then discard 1. When attacking, if you have 6 or more energy, draw 1 card. So, like I said, you ramp incredibly quickly. You play this card, you draw 1, trash 1, and then every time you attack, you draw 1. So this card can draw 2, essentially trash 1 when you attack with this card when you play it. It's just wow. So card cycling, great. Brother sister combination is a 1-cost event or extra card. It's only available to play during your opponent's turn, so defensively. Choose one of your leaders or up to one of your battle cards and gets 20k power for the battle. Then, if you have 15 or more cards in your drop, and add up to 1 card with a cost of 3 or more from your drop to your energy and rest mode. So not only is it essentially a 1-drop super combo for 20k, you also get to ramp an energy if you have 15 or more cards in your drop, which may not happen as often, but that is still just an amazing ability. Like I said, these are not all specific to Android archetypes, but you will see these in both Gohan and Androids. They're just more Android themed. Then we're going to get to some generically just great cards for green. Like I said, green did get the other secret rare in the deck, or sorry, in the set, which is absolutely insane. It is a board wipe, targeting on play. Discard 1 card from hand, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 5 or less, and KO them. So, an amazing board wipe. Doesn't matter about power, it's all about cost. And, as a caveat here, they did say that the card cannot attack after it is played. So, you won't have to deal with it on the turn it's played. But you will have to deal with it on the next turn. Being a 50k body is insane. That is so much pressure. You are going to be dropping multiple super combos to get out of attacks. And since it is a 7-drop body, the odds of you getting rid of it are 0. Are like 10%. Because in this game, there is only 1 card that can KO something with a cost of 7 or more. because it's most cards only have access to KO cards that are like 5 cost and below. So, and I'm talking about like blue and yellow. So blue and yellow have no way to deal with board, like tall bodies, except for attacking in. But because these tall bodies have huge attack power, it's almost impossible that you're going to be able to clear them. You'd have to dump all of your resources for you to even try. But then green just has some of the best defensive cards, which I'll get to in a second. The only card that can KO the 7-drop Secret Rare Gohan is 8-drop Broly from the starter deck. This card, on play, you draw 1 card and then KO up to one of your opponent's battle cards. Doesn't have a cost, doesn't have a power restriction, it's just any card. So the only card that can KO the Secret Rare in green is green. It's just insane to me how that is even a thing. Not only is this card just amazingly powerful, a 45k body, it draws you 1 and KOs a body, you also get to switch this card back to active mode after attacking. So essentially this card can swing in twice. This is your game ender on top of your Secret Rare. You play your Secret Rare, clear board. Play your 8-drop next turn. KOs another body. And now you're swinging 45, 45, 50. Green's late game is disgustingly powerful. Like, if you have to beat green quickly or else you will lose. That's just fact. Cards, another great card from the starter deck is 5-drop Turles. 5-drop 30k body with critical. So once again, he has an ability that is mostly seen in red. I know there are a couple cards that have critical, but for the most part, it seems like red is mostly the home of critical. So it has critical, but then on play, add up to 1 card with a cost of 3 or less from your drop to your energy. So it's another ramp. So play this for 5. Ramp 1 to 6. Next turn, you're at 7. Play Gohan. Swing with Turles. Next turn, play Broly. So at that point, you've got 45, 45, 30, 50. It's disgusting. And I mentioned earlier about cards that, like, just overall cards that just do better because you have such high energy. Gigantic Meteor, a card from the starter deck, which is a 1-cost activate battle, and it's choosing either attack or defensive. So while you're attacking or defensive, you can use this card. Activate battle, choose your leader up to one of your battle cards, gains 15k power for the battle. Then, if you have 6 or more energy, which we've already discussed, it's pretty easy to do in green, this card gets an additional 10k power. So a 1-drop, 25k boost. It's unreal, the amount of pressure green has. This essentially is a better super combo. So, like I said earlier, I do not understand why red and green had access to the Secret Rares. Also want to say I'm sorry that these cards look so weird because I just... my editor, I tried to remove the backgrounds, and because the backgrounds are white, it was hard to... they blended in, kind of, so sorry about that. But anyway, green and red did not need to have Secret Rares because of, like I said, the sheer amount of cards that are just generically amazing in those decks. And I hoped I proved that in this video. To be honest with you, the yellow and blue should have gotten the Secret Rares of this set to help try to power balance. Because without that, and I understand games, with card games balancing is so ridiculous, but I feel like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to point out that the 2 colors that already have way more generic good cards and great value don't need the best cards in the set, which are normally the Secret Rares. So this could have easily been blue and yellow Secret Rares, or even, how about just a generic Secret Rare? I understand we have 4 colors, there's not necessarily a 5th color yet, or like a colorless, but that would have been neat to have just a colorless Secret Rare in the set, that way any deck can run it. Because essentially with green and red having Secret Rares, there's very little reason or motivation to play blue and yellow, because these 2 colors just generically stomp them. Like I said, blue's whole thing is swinging with bigger bodies as long as you have 7 cards less in hand, but they can be easily KO'd. Blue has no way to remove bodies that anything higher than a 5 cost. Yellow can only KO cards mostly in rest mode. Yes, Frieza has the ability to restand things, but that's really it. Frieza didn't really get a lot of great stuff. Yellow in general didn't get a whole lot of great stuff. Blue got some decent things, but it's just the power vacuum that these 2 colors create is overwhelming. Board control, just powerful boss monsters, ramp, life manipulation, easy board removal. It's just all these things together make red and green the best two colors in the game right now. And there was no need for them to have secret rares. It could have made, like, sure, blue and yellow may not have the great generic stuff, but if they had access to secret rares, that could have helped them out. Like I said, with the way secret rares are, how powerful they are, there's just no incentive to play other colors unless you just genuinely like those play styles. But if you're playing this game competitively, I just feel like competitive players are going to flock to these two colors, and more importantly, green as a whole. This is just my personal prediction, now that all cards have been revealed. Finally, enough to end this video, I have just put the colors that I believe are, like, I rank the colors by how powerful they are generically, and like I said, green is the best. It has the best generic stuff. It has ramp, it has board clearing, it has heavy boss, like the best boss monsters, and it has a little bit of life manipulation or life gain. That's amazing. Red is a close second, having ability of, critical, some good boss monsters, being able to control the board with reducing costs, and just their cards are overall aggressive. Blue is third. I still think blue is a little bit better than yellow because blue does have some really cool tech cards. A lot of it has better board removal than yellow does. It also has some great looping, like recursion, being able to grab cards from the trash quite often. So it's pretty neat. And then of course yellow's neat, but the cards that we got, they're okay. They're not bad. I don't think there's necessarily a bad color in this game. It's just, in comparison to the other four, I think yellow just isn't as good. But you could honestly swap blue and yellow around, depending on who you are. But yeah, that is my personal thoughts on the status of the first meta. I understand the game's not even out yet. These are all just predictions that I'm making. But I have to go based off what I'm seeing here. The evidence is clear that green is going to be the best, with red being able to contend with it. Blue and yellow are just unfortunately going to be considered the rogue decks that may see some, like, if players can figure out good decks for blue and yellow, I would love that, and they could maybe hold their own. But overall, I just think there's such a huge power gap between these, the first half and the second half of this list. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think the first meta will be like. And you know what? If I am completely wrong, I will absolutely gladly admit it. Like, no doubt. I will admit my faults. I'll admit when I'm wrong. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll check you out on the next video. Take care, guys.